I come here asking for some advice. And I know you're going to say, go to a doctor, seek a medical professional. And we are, but I also like getting insight and real life experiences from those who are going through the same thing so that I could be armed with information when going to the doctor. I'm coming at you with 2 condition questions. And this is in regards to my mom, who, if you're new here, she has multiple sclerosis and was diagnosed with arthritis a couple years ago, but the arthritis is now picking up in flare-ups. And she is in a really bad flare-up with her knee. And with MS, you kind of need all your leg goodness that you can get, and this knee pain is causing a problem. And the ortho did a cortisone shot in it and it didn't do anything, and then said it must be, muscle related, muscle weakness, and her neurologist said there's no muscle weakness there. Knock on wood, my mom has actual great muscle strength in her legs. The ortho wants to do heavy dosing of constant ibuprofen, and her primary does not, because my mom actually has really great kidney function, and the primary doctor does not want to compromise that, which I do appreciate. But now we're left with both doctors going, well, I guess there's nothing, because the ortho said, hey, if your primary doesn't want ibuprofen, they're not going to want any prescription arthritis drugs. Don't ask what arthritis it is. We only hear the word arthritis. I don't know if there's another special word attached to it. We got the okay from the doctor to do 5 days of ibuprofen twice a day, and that did alleviate some discomfort. And now that she's off of it, it's picked back up full force. So for those who have arthritis, and specifically also in your knees, what are you guys doing about it? I know physical therapy can be recommended, but we have to find a physical therapist who will do adaptive exercises, because the common arthritis related exercises she cannot do. She can't get on the floor. She can't stand up against a wall. She can't bend. She can't do anything unassisted without like a walker. And a lot of physical therapists don't have a history with MS patients and don't know how to adapt exercises to them. So we actually have a really hard time finding OT and PT for her. But if you have anything to offer about that, we've tried a lot of over-the-counter creams, which don't really do anything for her, but I'll listen to them. We might have them in the drawer already, but I will fully take any suggestions and any insight, because we will be switching doctors. We do not like this current doctor she has, which I've talked about next month, starting a new doctor. So I want to go in armed and ready with, how about this, how about this, how about this. The neurologist wants her to get a back x-ray, and is surprised nobody ever wanted one, because he said, if there's arthritis in the back, that can affect things as well. He's a neurologist, love him, been our neurologist since like 2010, but really didn't get any information about like why the back can be like, the center hub of problems. So we're arranging the back x-ray. But yeah, any insight on arthritis treatment, because right now we're left with, oh, well, I guess you have to suffer, and nobody should be left just to suffer, because nobody can agree on what to do. Okay, that's that. And the next thing is, does anyone have any experience with overactive bladder disorder? My mom is checking off all of, and everything on that list for overactive bladder, at least for the past 6 months, maybe up to a year. When she had UTIs, they found bladder crystals, and this current doctor didn't want to do any treatment for the bladder crystals other than to hydrate more. And we've turned my mom into a water balloon, and she still has bladder crystals, but still no medication treatment for them. So I know overactive bladder crystals can affect bladder emptying, bladder fullness signals, and all that stuff. With MS comes incontinence, and there could be urge incontinence there. But we're thinking overactive bladder because she is experiencing a majority of the problem overnight, through the night. She's getting up like every hour to attempt to go to the bathroom, and sometimes there's no success, and then she lays back down and feels that she has to get up and try again. And sometimes she just preemptively just goes to the bathroom thinking, I should. So there's a lot of like mental stuff going on here, and going to the bathroom is a big trigger for her because it's so exhausting even before the arthritis. So I think there's also some anxiety there in making sure she gets to the bathroom, gets it over with, because she tries to get to and fro so quickly, and that causes things to take longer because she's not being efficient, moving too fast and making mistakes in how she should handle the situation. But she's checking off everything for overactive bladder disorder, and we talked to her case manager, who is a former nurse, who said, absolutely, there's medications for that. How can the doctor you currently have not take this into consideration? Again, new doctor coming. But if you have any experience with overactive bladder disorder and can share any insight on treatment and what you did to overcome that or help with that, but we do know, at least on the bladder front, we have a Venn diagram that's overlapping between bladder crystals, overactive bladder disorder, and urge incontinency with MS. And they can all exist together, and they can all exist individually. Sorry, my phone alarm went off, so it cut off the video. We know we need to see a doctor about this, but again, I like to go in armed with information, and I have spent a lot of time on Google, so don't say just go to Google. I have. It looks like it's probably a case of nocturis, I think it's pronounced, which is getting up to pee more than one time during the night. And that can be triggered from MS, arthritis, age, all these things, overactive bladder. So there's something going on that we do have to figure out. But if you have any or all of this, or know somebody, and if you don't want to share in the comments, because I know that might make you feel uncomfortable, I'm a judge-free person. You can message me privately. I have my email up above. I'm just looking for guidance. I'm not looking to judge anyone, because we're all human and we all go through things, and we should all show compassion to one another. But yeah, arthritis, bladder, and they're all connecting, because getting up into the night 7-8 times a night is aggravating the knee with arthritis. It's just a vicious cycle, and we have to conquer both to feel better. And we don't have any doctors who are willing to conquer both. So I want to go in with information to the new doctor. Okay, thank you so much. This was also, I just had to get this out because it's been very, very consuming, and I like to figure things out. And I appreciate any insight anyone can give. All right, I hope y'all are doing okay, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.